Okay, so, when you think about getting that, really great skin, right? Like glowing, healthy skin, most people, I think, automatically picture like rows and rows of products, right?
Yeah.
Like all those creams and serums and lotions.
Yeah, for sure.
And maybe you've even, gone out and like shelled out for some of those like really, really expensive, hyped up treatments that you see.
Hmm.
But what we're going to be talking about today is actually completely different.
Totally.
Like, we're not even going to be going to the beauty counter. We're heading straight into your kitchen for this one.
Yeah, exactly. Because what we put inside our body actually has a really, really big impact on how we look on the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You know, what you eat, it's not just fuel for your body, it's also like, these building blocks that are gonna, really contribute to the health and the look of your skin.
Yeah. And I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, if you're listening to this, you probably experienced some of these frustrations at some point. You know, like the dryness that just won't go away no matter how much moisturizer you use.
Yeah.
Or, those like breakouts that just seem to like keep coming back over and over again.
Hmm.
Or maybe you're even starting to see those first signs of aging, you know,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
maybe you're not super thrilled about.
Totally.
And so it can feel like this like never ending quest to find a skincare routine that actually works without, spending like all of your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't even think about like what we're putting into our bodies as being part of that, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to dig into today. We're going to be uncovering some surprising and really easy things that you can do with food that can help you get healthy, glowing skin.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of research for this episode, so we're going to be bringing you guys like the insights that really matter.
So yeah, so get ready to kind of rethink everything you thought you knew about skincare.
Yep.
Because it turns out like some of those powerful tools for getting, healthier skin might actually be in your pantry already.
Right. Yeah.
So okay, let's start unpacking this, right? Like
Okay.
so the big idea here is that there's this really strong connection between what we eat and how our bodies function.
Mhm.
And that connection is like so obvious when it comes to our skin.
Yeah.
Like some foods have nutrients that really act as our skin's best friend.
Yeah, I think the sources we looked at, they call them like skin saviors,
Yeah, skin saviors.
which is a great term, I think.
Yeah.
It's very catchy.
And what's really fascinating here is that it's not just about like eating, a generally healthy diet, right?
Exactly.
It's about understanding how specific nutrients in certain foods can like target particular skin concerns that you might have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, for example, let's talk about dry skin.
Okay.
If you are dealing with that like, tight, uncomfortable feeling all the time, the research shows that omega-3 fatty acids are super important for that.
Yeah, for sure.
And when we talk about foods that are rich in omega-3s, you're looking at things like salmon,
Mm-hmm.
walnuts.
Yeah, those are great examples.
So how do those actually help when it comes to dryness?
Well, they play a really big role in maintaining the integrity of your skin's like outermost layer, which is called the lipid barrier.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can kind of imagine this barrier as like a wall that's helping your skin hold on to moisture.
Okay.
So it prevents that feeling of dryness
Oh, I see. You see.
and it makes your skin, feel softer and more supple.
Yeah.
And those fats, they basically help to lock in hydration from the inside out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So let's move on to another super common concern that a lot of people listening probably deal with.
Sure.
Acne-prone skin.
Yeah.
So what's the role of diet when it comes to acne?
Well, in this case, antioxidants are super important.
Okay.
And the sources that we looked at, they highlight berries and leafy greens as really good examples.
So when we're talking about berries, we're talking like, blueberries, strawberries,
Yeah.
raspberries,
Mm-hmm.
and then for leafy greens, obviously spinach, kale.
Right, exact.
But how do those help with breakouts?
Well, they're really good at neutralizing something called free radicals.
Free radicals.
Yeah, and you can think of those like tiny little unstable molecules that can basically damage your skin cells, which leads to inflammation.
Oh, heck.
And so antioxidants, they kind of act like these little neutralizers.
Okay.
They calm down those damaging molecules.
Okay.
And that helps to reduce the inflammation, which is a big factor in, whether or not you're going to get acne.
Okay.
And so ultimately, having a lot of antioxidants in your diet can lead to a clearer and more radiant complexion.
Okay, cool. So we've talked about dry skin. We've talked about acne.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about another thing that a lot of people start to notice as they get a little bit older.
Okay.
Those signs of aging,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
the fine lines, the wrinkles,
Yeah.
Is there anything in the foods we eat that can help support, like, smoother, younger looking skin?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
The sources that we've looked at, they really emphasize foods that are like super hydrating.
Okay.
So things like cucumbers, celery.
Oh, so is it less about like a specific anti-aging ingredient in those and more about just like the fact that they have so much water in them?
Exactly. Hydration is so important for, maintaining skin elasticity and that plump, youthful look.
Okay.
And so these water-rich foods, they help to increase your overall hydration levels,
Mm-hmm.
and that can help to minimize, how noticeable fine lines and wrinkles are.
Okay.
It just keeps your skin looking more vibrant overall.
Gotcha. So like drinking tons of water.
Yeah, exactly.
Eating lots of cucumbers.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So are you ready for things to get really interesting?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so the stuff we've been looking at, it goes on to like really deep dive into some specific surprising foods, and it breaks down all the different ways that they can benefit our skin.
Okay.
So let's start with the berries that we mentioned before for acne. There's more to the story with those.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, so they're not just full of antioxidants and vitamins that are fighting acne and hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
They also have a lot of water in them.
Okay.
So they're also helping to, clear your skin, but also they're adding to your overall hydration levels, which, like we talked about, is really important for plumping up fine lines and wrinkles.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a great combination.
Yeah, so a handful of blueberries a day keeps the dermatologist away.
That's the saying, right?
Yeah, maybe that's the thing. I don't know.
We can make it one.
Yeah, we can make it one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about those leafy greens like the spinach and kale?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about them helping with acne, but do they offer other skin benefits?
Yeah, they do. They have both antioxidants and those good omega-3 fatty acids.
Oh, okay.
So they're like a really well-rounded approach to skin health.
Okay.
They're fighting inflammation and, those damaging free radicals that can lead to acne. But at the same time, they're also giving you those healthy fats that are helping your skin retain moisture so you don't get dry skin.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a powerful combo.
Yeah, okay, so avocados and nuts, we all know they're full of healthy fats.
Yeah.
But how does that actually translate to better skin?
Well, those fats are super important for keeping your skin barrier strong and healthy.
Okay.
And that barrier is what's keeping moisture in and all the
Yeah.
bad stuff out,
Yeah. Yeah.
like irritants and stuff.
Yeah.
So by making sure your skin barrier is strong, avocados and nuts can help your skin feel really soft and supple.
Okay.
And it can also help calm any inflammation that you might have.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, how about bell peppers and mushrooms?
Bell peppers and mushrooms. Yeah, those are two things that I eat all the time.
Me too. Yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah, but I don't really think of them as like skin foods.
Well, that's what's so cool about this.
Yeah.
So bell peppers and mushrooms, they're full of antioxidants, and their main benefit for your skin is that they neutralize free radicals,
Mm-hmm.
which, can lead to you looking older,
Yeah, yeah.
like fine lines and wrinkles.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, cool. So now let's get to some of the really unexpected ones that I was like, wait, what?
yeah.
When I saw these in the research.
Yeah.
So cilantro.
Yeah.
I mean, I love cilantro,
Me too.
but I would not think of that as a skin boosting food.
I know, right. But it actually has a ton of antioxidants and vitamins in it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And those work together to reduce inflammation and, make your skin look clearer and brighter.
Right.
So it's a good example of how even adding like small amounts of certain things to your diet can really make a difference.
Yeah. Okay. Turmeric.
Okay.
So that bright yellow spice.
Yeah.
I love turmeric.
Yeah, me too.
And it's, known for being really good for you, right? It has those anti-inflammatory properties.
Yeah, exactly.
But how does that actually like benefit the skin specifically?
Well, turmeric is like a super powerful spice. It has both antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. And that makes it really good for things like acne and hyperpigmentation,
Okay.
because those are two things that are really affected by inflammation and oxidative stress.
Gotcha. Okay. So sweet potatoes.
Okay.
I love sweet potatoes.
Me too.
I could eat them every day.
Yeah, they're so good.
But they're not just a tasty side dish.
No, they're not.
I mean, they're actually doing stuff for our skin.
Yeah, they are. They're like full of essential vitamins,
Okay.
especially vitamins A and C.
Oh, okay.
And both of those are super important for healthy skin.
Okay.
So vitamin A, it helps with skin cell turnover, and it prevents dryness.
Okay.
And then vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant. And it's also really important for collagen production,
Okay.
which helps to give your skin that, glowy look.
Yeah.
and it reduces inflammation.
So it's like these foods are giving us like double the benefits, right?
Yeah.
Like they're nourishing our bodies overall.
Mm.
And then, like as a bonus, our skin is getting all these benefits.
Yeah, it's like taking care of yourself from the inside out.
Yeah.
And your skin is like the reflection of that internal health.
Okay, I know some people listening are probably thinking, okay, this is all super interesting, but what about this specific food that I'm thinking about?
No,
You know, like the thing that you're curious about.
for sure.
And the research we looked at actually talks about that.
Yeah.
Like they acknowledge that there's this whole world of skin-friendly foods out there.
Yeah.
And then they introduce another surprising one.
Okay.
Oats.
Oats. Interesting.
Yeah, like I think of oats as like, good for your gut,
Yeah, totally.
good for fiber,
Yeah, high in fiber?
but like good for skin. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, so they're actually good for both.
Right.
They have lots of antioxidants and vitamins. And they can help with things like, dry, itchy skin.
Okay.
And they can make your complexion look more radiant.
But there's something else about oats that's like really unique, right, when it comes to skin.
Yeah, there is. They're really good at absorbing and retaining moisture.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so they're like a superfood for dry skin.
Okay.
And what's cool is that you can eat them,
Yeah.
but you can also like put them on your skin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can do like face masks with them.
Oh, that's cool.
You can do like gentle scrubs.
Mm.
And you can even do like overnight treatments if you have like a really dry area.
Oh, wow. Okay, I might have to try that.
Yeah, it's
That's
cool.
Okay, so to kind of like sum everything up here, the big takeaway is not about following like a crazy restrictive diet
No, not all.
or like feeling like you can't eat anything fun.
Right.
It's really about just adding these nutrient-rich, skin-loving foods into what you're already eating.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about that like, positive addition and nourishing your skin from the inside out.
Yeah, it's about understanding that, the food that you eat is such an important building block for having healthy skin.
So like, you the listener, like just take a second right now to think about your kitchen.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of surprising to realize how much power your kitchen already has when it comes to skincare.
Yeah. And it makes you think, right? Like, what are you already eating that's good for your skin?
Yeah.
And what are some things that maybe you want to start incorporating more?
Yeah.
So think about that idea of nourishing your skin from the inside out. It's a whole new way to think about, your meals.
Yeah, and it's about, shifting how we think about food
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that what we eat isn't just about, calories or energy levels.
Right.
It's about giving our entire body, and that includes our skin,
Yeah.
the stuff it needs to thrive. And, we've only just like scratched the surface here.
Totally.
Like there's always more to explore when it comes to food and our overall well-being.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks so much for diving in with us.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.